Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. Every free for you here on Calais Battery Revamped, I believe it's called again. Let's go through the players on the Western Front. You have Dr. Mulvey, the main developer of Spearhead 2 mod, as rifle company straight to the United States, starting with the blue and grey. The Professor as Royal Guard Regiment with Anvil Specialization, straight out the gates. Finally, we have Nubby Gops, also as the Commonwealth, without a commander choice. Represent the Axis today, we have MJP 919 as mechanized tactics for the Waffen-SS, starting out with the 9th SS Grenadiers. We have Lux Untercommander, without a commander choice yet, for the Waffen-SS. And finally, we have Lenin You a Hand as the Wehrmacht, without a commander choice yet. We need to see when that happens. Now there's been some changes in the latest patch where sandbags are not rapidly built anymore, but barbed wire is. We'll probably see a lot more barbed wire now being set up rather than sandbags as people advance, because you need to put a lot more effort into the sandbags. Which I personally believe is a good change, because it means you can just rush up to a point and start building them. It's a lot more risky to do. You have to use the natural cover. We have a firefight down here, but also a firefight here in the center. There's a Kugelwagen already, which the Brits are going to get suppressed by. Those and the Germans have the upper hand in the center there. Meanwhile, we have 9th SS Grenadiers coming out here, a cheap alternative unit if you're playing as Mechanized. Simon's doing a pretty decent job there, actually killing the gunner, and actually killing the crew of the Kugelwagen. The Brits on the northern flank are going to be engaged with the Wehrmacht soon. Ooh, those three echelon are going to rush up here. You'll see some barbed wire getting set up to provide light cover. Because barbed wire does provide light cover, I believe, but not heavy cover. Ooh, and now the Americans pushing forward with 29th. A much cheaper alternative infantry if you're playing as rifle company. Just giving the Americans a lot of field pressure here. But they are easier to hit, as you can see. Getting mowed down out the open by the German prepared position. Ooh, taking a lot of losses. I don't think the Americans can keep that up. They're trying though. And they do get very powerful to get close due to M1 Garands and such. But as I said, they are easier to hit, so you need to be cautious with them. But I think that's definitely a dead squad. And they're about to be mowed down. But the center of the Germans are pushing forward to have remanned the Kugelwagen. So no commander choice. Nothing on the northern flank either, they're being very static and waiting for the next opportunity to push. Neither side wants to make the move. Completely understandable. And while the Americans are trying to take territory again. At least the blue and grey are very cheap to replace. Also, we have Royal Fusiliers there.
New machine gun crew ready and waiting.
This is what we're trained for.
British machine guns have already been set up here to cover the flank. That might be that Sturm Pioneer.
Supply hub Keta is ready for orders.
Oh no, he might actually get away. Looks like he will. That's good for them. ND42 for the Wehrmacht up here. Vic is arriving here for the British. Germans have already prepared a Panzerjäger. We also got double half-track coming out here for the Mechanisierte. Very cheap and very usable for if you're playing as Waffen-SS Mechanisierte. You're kind of expected to use a lot of half-tracks, I imagine. With an MT42 on top, that's definitely going to be a problem here for the Americans. We have a 30 caliber arriving. Although I think a 50 caliber might be the better choice here, but I'm not sure Rifle Company gets the 50 caliber machine gun. And Nubby speaking in all, probably should not do that unless that's just a mistake. Or a mind trick. Ooh, suppressing the gunner of the half-track there, preventing it from firing. But the Grenadiers still just having a static fight, 2-1 coming onto the field soon. British have secured the point. Rifle going for the Vickers, but misses. More arriving here for the Wehrmacht. Looks like we have an armored force here of the half-track. Oh, but Panzerjägers got killed. That's a tank raid on the... Well, that's actually, what's it called? Well, it didn't do much. Sticky bomb, I think? Anyway, but we did not help much, and now they managed to grab the Panzer rifle. Well, that's a tank rifle. So that's pretty good there for the Americans. Taking on a half-track in short order. Half-claw for the Waffen in the center. Mortar is aiming at the British locations. Double 222. Ooh, well, 221. And they gotta become 222s at some point. They might go for the full-on upgrade here. Which makes them all into 222s. Much cheaper than munitions. Holy crap, that's actually really powerful.
Scout car awaiting orders.
That would be very potent for both of those. But they head into the southern flank where the Americans do have a Panzerbüchse now. Which I think could essentially take them out.
Scout car awaiting orders.
Oh no, they are one of them is getting Radpanzer. Which would make it very hard for the tank rifle to deal with it. Now they're both 222s thanks to that army upgrade. That's actually very, very potent. But they should not engage until they have Radpanzer. Well, if they can suppress and pin down the riflemen, that would also work, I suppose. Yeah, they're pinned, so they're no longer a problem. And they're cleared out. Armor-piercing bullets being used by the 30 calibers, I think. Ooh, there was a mine there. Ooh. Taking it out so the Americans can steal it. Very smart. Now focusing on the machine gun. Good job with that 222. Also, don't think armor-piercing bullets work anymore when it's turned into well, when it has the Radpanzer upgrade, because it's just so potent. So much more armor. And I think the American front here has kind of collapsed because of that. The Wehrmacht is sending some armored vehicles to supplement. Now the mechanized theater forces can start to advance. There are a lot of half-tracks. And on the center, the Germans are still just taking in. As the Brits are bombing them. The no command chest from in your hands. No command chest from the Northern British either. The 2 is trying to be aggressive here, but there is a Boys AT rifle team nearby. And the 222 is just very useful, evidently. Jaeger's moving up to the heavy cover here. German MT-42 moving a little bit further back. Lots of smoke. I guess they were probably expecting a British assault, but it might just have been a nuke. Make them think there would be an assault here. Mortars opening fire though on the machine gun. Grenadiers opening fire as well. Not a lot of action there. Lots of fighting down here. Oh, crowd mower. I completely missed that. Crowd mower can take out these light half-tracks in short order, as we can see. It's quad 50 caliber machine guns. But I think they lost their gunner. Yeah, they need to repair it. The quad mount is disabled. Probably not prepared while under fire. It makes them easier to hit. And now also has revealed that it doesn't have the ability to fire, so the half-track can engage. Oh, but they cleared up with a flamethrower. Good flamethrower usage right there. Ooh, the Wehrmacht is suffering some losses up here. As the British try to advance with their Bren guns. Still no command shows from the Germans in the center or the north. Being very reserved about picking a commander. Oh, good shot from the boys right there. Doesn't penetrate with the second shot. having issues firing because he's suppressed. But, oh, he got the mobility. And he got it, wow. Now, that's a very lucky gunner right there. Very lucky tank hunter. Who off-class spotted because of the British Rec 18. Proud Mo on the move down here. Because the Grenadiers have no anti-tank weapons, I think. Apart from the Panzerknacker. Which they managed to get off, but it doesn't hit the tank.
Forward elements report an infantry unit lost.
Main gun disabled here on the half-track, but apparently still works. Proud Mo might get burned out. Nope, it manages to survive somehow. I'm not sure how. Double Panzer 2 Lukes now, that'll certainly be a problem for it to handle.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
Its engine is certainly overheated from all that fire. Gonna have to here, it's gonna get taken out by the quad mount. Like that crowd mode did a lot of work to all the German light vehicles here. Game's trying to dig in further in the center. They've gone for Panzerjäger. I can see the symbol here. And Panzer for the Wehrmacht by looks of it. Still nothing from the British on the northern flank.
Upgrade carried out. Excellent work.
British trying to push up, throwing a grenade. And the Flammenwerfer 41 is doing a lot of work here. Panzer 4 F1s on the fields. They now trying to deal with the quad mount. Also Panzer 2 Luke's arriving here.
Light tank ready for action.
Ready. Send order.
Aircraft's moving up the units.
Prepare yourself.
Oh, it actually took some damage from it. Like, I suppose this is a quad mount. Like, quad 50 caliber machine gun is very hard to deal with. You need the armor of an F1 to be completely safe, I imagine. Or something similar. Oh, good shot there from the F1. And now there's nothing from the Americans to stop these vehicles. They still have the safety gun, they'll keep recruiting with the blue and grey, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. All things considered. Flammenwerfer trying to push up here. But now the machine gun rips into them. Like, it was a good attempt there with the Storm Pioneers. Oh, they might have to still get some damage off.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
But there's no way he's getting out of there. Now the Irish Guard appearing as well. That's definitely that Storm Pioneer. Unless he's just very lucky. He might... Wow, he makes it. Okay, never mind. Big armor pushing the southern flank from the combined Germans. Panzer 2s and F1s moving up. Mines quickly being laid here by the echelon, very smart.
We just lost a unit.
Oh, I think it's a Royal Tank up here now. The British advancing and a lot of the Panzer Division's forces. Without their armor support, they don't actually have a lot to stop all these British infantry. British now sending 80 weapons to support the Americans. Doesn't penetrate there.
Weapon crew lost.
Tank support is here.
We do have an A2 Sherman arriving here as well for the Rifle Company. Oh, that F1 is getting a lot of work done actually. Suppressing and pinning down the team. There's too much machine gun fire coming our way. Just remember, the crew does get the veterancy type. Well, not veterans type, the trading type of whatever crew mans the AT gun. So if it's blue and grey, it's gonna get pinned really freaking fast because they're low quality infantry.
Send order. Enemy infantry. Obtain field promotion.
Germans keep digging in. British keep advancing up here. There's not a lot to stop them. Panzer 2 command tank arriving, but they're all just focusing on the south. Here comes the A2 Shermans now. The Germans gonna try and grab the AT gun. Yep. Putting a high explosive round. Mthis is moving up here. Attending to anyway. Unique Panzer Grenadiers available to Mechanisierte. Very cool unit, by the way. We rarely see them used. Using the Panzer Fusilier model and voice lines from the vanilla game. Always liked the Panzer Fusiliers. They were also a very cool looking and sounding unit. Let's see, we have a Cromwell Mark 5 coming up on the northern flank. The Germans don't have anything to stop the northern push, actually. The British just decide to advance further up to that church. German being a big problem here. German being a quite potent tank, as you would think. Has a lot of power to it, with a 50 caliber on top. If one tries to penetrate, does not succeed. But the Sherman does. The stop-nosed Panzer IVs are just not capable of really fighting the Shermans at range. We need like the longer-barreled tanks to do that. And the Panzer II certainly don't stand a chance. Well, the armor did get some good deflection there. 500 frontal armor on Lux, that's actually not bad for a light tank. Pretty competent, I think it's more the F1. Slightly less than an F1, but very close. So that's impressive for a light tank. Well, the Germans are looking to be in big trouble now because the Panzer Division neglected their own front line somewhat with their armor support. It's certainly gonna be hurting. One Sherman getting taken out by the F1 here. Oh, it's not rearranging itself. And now they have to take out that Stuk. They have maneuverability issues here because of the wreck. Stuk is turning around. Stuk has much higher frontal armor. Ooh, but that's gonna penetration off. Panzerknacker being thrown. But I think the tank gets away in time. No, no, yeah, it does get away in time. Panzer Fausto takes it out. Who quickly has to relocate because the Cromwell Mark 6 advancing up here. The Germans are just lacking stuff to fight up there at the moment. Sherman Mark 5 for the British in the center. But there's a Beerbox Panzer to keep an eye on it. Irish Guards advancing forwards. I really wish the Irish would have a unique model, but it's a limited amount of British models in the game, so. So the Germans have a few more units to try and hold the line here. Including a Lieutenant. The Cromwell Mark 6 is doing its best. Well, the Germans on the southern flank lost a lot. The Americans are just recuperating and grabbing all the equipment they can find. Captain calling in some kind of artillery strike here. Oh, they also these. Oh, so that's registered artillery. It's like they're using like a mine to be like the placeholder for it. Registered artillery is like an artillery you can place down from an officer, and it'll only enable once you decide it should enable. Which I think is a pretty cool little concept there. This means the artillery knows the coordinates beforehand, and they're waiting for the exact word before they fire. It's a very cool concept, so it can be used as a defensive thing. I rarely see people use registered artillery, so it's very good to see Stock using it. Again, Stock is the mod maker, so he might know a little bit about it. Indeed, I think we are seeing him queue up a lot more registered artillery. So he can, like, prepare beforehand when the Germans try to counterattack. Because registered artillery is kind of meant to be like your defensive artillery kind of thing. This Mark 6 is doing a lot of work. Let's see, do we have more? Yes, so you can just queue up more registered artillery because the cooldown is a lot smaller. Very cool to see. Mark 5 Sherman still making an issue here. I don't see a lot of AT equipment. And there's no packs. There's not that Panzerjäger. That's definitely not enough. Oh, we do have a pack coming up behind.
Combat stations!
Half trucks trying to flank. They have no crew in them, so it's just a machine gun. Artillery hitting the front line there of the Germans. Oh, I'm not sure those half-tracks are going to achieve much. They've all been suppressed. Yeah, that did not work. F1 fighting well up here. I'm surprised how well they let in your hand and shoots the F1s. I guess you shouldn't underestimate it. It is still a Panzer IV. This has a very low barrel gun. Well, short barrel gun. Which I think means it has low velocity. And velocity is very important when it comes to penetration, I believe. Oh, look at all the registered artillery stock is setting up. This is really nice. I wonder if we'll ever see it actually being used here. Well, get activated. But it's nice to see. Panzer Division is getting the Groß Deutschland on the field shortly. Attacking ground with a Stuk for some reason. There's a Vickers K emplacement set up here by the British. But I think the Grenadiers, Volksgrenadiers can't get behind heavy cover here.
We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
Now the Stuk is moving up to take out the emplacement. Yeah, a few more shots on that and we'll take it out. One more shot and I think it'll actually lose its crew. There we go. No more gunner. Here comes the Mark 6.
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
Always need to be cautious because most German infantry are Panzerfausts, especially on the Wehrmacht side. Man, the captain's just sitting it all over the front line here. Thinking ahead. Very good to see. Also one placed here by looks of it. Registered mortar artillery markup. Oh, but the lieutenant dies.
Lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Panzer Fusiliers pushing up now. Much higher quality. No, this is not Panzer Fusiliers. But technically, I think it is because I believe the division Großdeutschland was given the honorary title of Panzer Fusilier. But I may be wrong on that. Regardless, though, the Großdeutschland is here. Unique Panzer Grenadiers available to Panzer. You can only have one of them at the field at a time. Very high quality infantry that can actually serve as recon because they will spot enemy hidden stuff. They're very good for working alongside your most important tank. Which I think is the kind of intention, so they can spot for dangers. Jagdpanzer for the center now, that'll certainly be a problem for the Allies to deal with.
Hang on, chaps. Orders.
You have a Comet here on the northern flank. A very potent British tank with a 17-pounder gun. But it did get hit there by a pack. So let's be cautious with it. Its armor is not that impressive. It is fast though, and it is powerful with its shots.
Prepared for action.
American City is just digging in and waiting. And the Americans are doing much the same with all their artillery markers. Holy shit. Like if they ever have to pull back, they can just blow it all up. With like registered artillery. Germans having issues pushing up now because of the Jagdpanzer. British are just holding on here, waiting for more equipment. Looks like we do have some fuel airdrops going now. Not bad to see. But the British are having big issues here in the center now. They have a lot of units back here to still hold, but they can't really push up anymore. They are tending with the mortars though. They also got an extra man in most of their squads now. That's definitely gonna help. Ooh, that Jagdpanzer moving a little bit far up. Didn't penetrate there. It is only a small 80 gun, so the penetration chance on the Jagdpanzer is really damn low. Jagdpanzer has pretty good armor. Very well sloped. And look at all this registered artillery. Oh, to anyone who tries to advance on this. They're just putting registered artillery everywhere, aren't they? Are we gonna see like attended a mechanized assault here? Need to use some smoke because all those artillery anti-tank guns will just cut through the half tracks. Artillery hitting the British position on the north. Very accurate, not hitting much. Battle is somewhat quieting down. We're going to see some scavenging of some British equipment to get some resources back. Not a bad thing.
Crew, get ready.
Locked, loaded, and fueled up.
There's a little bit of a silence here before the storm. Players going over the front lines so the Germans can know what's happening. They'll probably see all the defenses here and be like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea to assault. Because the Americans have just dug in heavily. Jagdpanzer got to penetrate there by something. Ooh, one more penetration, it'll be done for. But it manages to back off safely. Then back here for repairs by the repair station.
Heavy armor ready to go.
Also scavenging the wrecks, good to see. That's very important for Germans to do late game. Gives them a lot more resource to work with. That might be that Sherman. Taking a while to reload that, but the Panzerjäger got it. Half-track died, however. Stormtroopers also being brought out here. Lots of half-tracks. Including a mortar half-track, very good to see. The Allies have just dug in heavily. The Germans are actually starting to lose ground slowly, I think. Oh, and the British have brought out heavy mortars here for the Royal Guard. Now that'll certainly be an issue. Oh, Tiger Tank gonna be around for the northern flank. That could certainly do something. We also have a Churchill AVRE. And a German guy trying to desert through this way, apparently. He's trying to jump off the cliff. Apparently he just run down the cliff, okay. Maybe a skilled man, I suppose. And the heavy mortar's just chilling the German positions now. We have a Beuter Panzer Sherman. Unique to Panzerjäger. Very potent little Beuter Panzer to have, in all honesty. The Allies are getting a lot of equipment in, including a Churchill here for the center. Excuse me. Third jams, high explosive loaded though, and manages to hit. Shield blocks most of it. Look at all the registered artillery. Lots of armor arriving here for the northern flank. Double comets. AVIs being upgraded with extra armor. But the Churchill's going to be arriving here shortly here for the guard company. Or guard regiment. There it is. The Mark 7. Oh, mechanized assault going in through here. Probably a lot smarter to avoid the Americans. Taking out the crew there, but there's a Sherman 76.
Anti-tank guns is gone.
Panzerknacker on the Sherman. That takes it out. Very good play there from the Germans all of a sudden. Now, they don't know about the registered artillery though. There's also a howitzer, I think, somewhere. Hey, it's a priest. Mechanized infantry is doing their best to advance, but the Americans are still on the flank here.
Send orders.
Churchill's also arriving soon.
They're awaiting next orders.
But Germans are trying to advance forwards. Ooh, and that's another blue and grey. Apparently the AVE got hit by something and basically killed by the sounds of it. They could try and Panzerknacker that Churchill, but it's going to be risky getting close.
Section is ready for battle.
Irish Guards also appearing, but the German infantry is in a pretty decent position here. Unless they just get hit directly by the Churchill, using its gun as an artillery piece.
A capture point is being overrun.
We do have the Tiger tank here. Also going to move to support the mechanized infantry, who is almost being wiped out. Looks like the attack is going to try and brawl with the Churchill. Churchill's one of the few tanks on the British side that actually have the armor to brawl successfully with German heavies. Like, the Churchill's more armor than the Tiger? Yes, it does. By a decent degree, too. But Churchill Mark 7 is surprisingly tough. This Tiger has to be very cautious.
Not anymore.
The Germans have managed to get some ground up here, and they took out the EVA here, evidently. Here comes the Irish. Tiger tank advancing. Looks like it's going to try and hunt down the Churchills. Ooh, the Comets too, though, are a problem. Taking out the Jagdpanzer there. We'll flank from the 76. Tiger has to be very careful here. Tiger pulling back for some repairs, probably a smart move.
Prepare for action.
Steady up, fellas. I got orders coming.
So much registered artillery just waiting.
Awaiting orders.
They could just drive it back up here to get some repairs quickly. So they're gonna wait for their own pioneers though. German front line is under a lot of pressure. As the combined Allied forces try to advance here. Well, mostly it's British in the center with some Irish support. Ooh, and the Stug is gonna demobilize. There it goes.
Taking fire.
Jagdtiger on the field though. The absolute heaviest vehicle in the Company of Heroes 2, I'm pretty sure. With the heaviest frontal armor, or highest frontal armor, and the biggest gun. Well, actually, I think the Soviets have bigger guns, but that thing is huge. Like, it is insane. The Jagdtiger in a good position can hold almost indefinitely. If it's only the front it has to worry about, because it's just such a hard thing to attack. Like, you can flank it, and then it's weak, but if you cannot flank it, it's basically impossible to beat, I'm pretty sure. I guess some 17-pounders could penetrate the front, but It's gonna be very rare. Tiger's advancing a little bit far, and Dr. Mulvey has apparently dropped. That is unfortunate. Wonder if they crashed. Very unfortunate. Although we already so far in the match, we might as well just let it play out, I feel. Repair team's working hard on the Tiger here. Jagdtiger advancing with some German support. But now there's going to be a lot more American assaults on the southern flank. Like, that's a lot of American units on the move all of a sudden because of an AI taking over. Unfortunately, I don't think the AI knows how to use the registered artillery, so probably not going to see that actually being used. That is a lot of Shermans, though. Tiger and Jagdtiger moving through the center slowly. Virtual Crocodile arriving. Looks like the Church Mark 7 actually got destroyed. Probably here, and I missed it. Americans keep advancing on the southern flank. At least attempting to. Second Tiger being arriving here shortly for the Wehrmacht. Bringing out a lot of heavier armor. I can hear something being moved upstairs. I suppose people are working upstairs. That's just something I've gotten used to recently. Hopefully it's not too loud.
Crews are ready to carry out emergency vehicle repairs.
A little bit annoying that that happened. Oh, they can use the registered artillery, I think. Oh, that was not registered, was it? I think it was German, actually.
Rifle squad ready for action.
And the firefights get hard.
The enemy are attacking an emplacement.
Listen up. Here's the deal.
And the AI is not that good at playing, though, as we can see. It's not really doing a lot. Another mechanized assault here from the Germans. Princeburg driving through with a mad rage. Taking out the anti-tank gun team, very good. Should probably not disembark, though, at least not yet. I think they might have do because that 80 gun. Yeah, that was probably smart then, actually. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Because stuff like that happens if you don't disembark, I guess. Oh, big assault from Comets. Triple Comets!
There's a Comet tank ready to go.
Oh, and the Comets can penetrate the front of the Jagdtiger! They just need one more penetration! But there's just too much support and the other Comet cannot move. Oh, they got it! Oh my god, the Comet got it! But the Panzerjägers will take it out. Don't underestimate the Comet tank. That thing has a very good gun. They have the heaviest frontally armored vehicle in the entire game. And Germans are immediately getting on scavenging it for any supplies they can. Even a 50 fuel back, that's not bad actually. And yeah, I suppose, so after one player left like that, that's kinda demoralizing. It's been quite an interesting match, I'd say. It's unfortunate though, but you cannot stop if someone crashes or something. That's unfortunately the case in some kind, sometimes with these games. I think we can safely speed it up a bit. See if something else happens. There's advancing. Yeah, tries to attack down there. Tanks moving through the center. Irish Scots trying to advance through the center. Slow down here. Comets advancing again. Might be aiming to try and take out the Tigers at some point. Which the Comets can very reliably do. We also have a second Jagdtiger apparently. Tigers trying to move up with the Jagdtiger for support. Tigers with a long range shot though.
The enemy have knocked out a Comet tank.
Yeah, I think the Germans kind of won this because Dr. Mulvey is no longer in the game. When you're one player short, it can really be felt. Especially in big team games like this. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
We just lost a medium tank.
And I suppose you should not underestimate F1s. Then in your hand has been using F1s quite well, actually.
Infantry contact!
Yeah, this is over for the Allies. There's no way they can win, can't make a comeback at this point. Just speed it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a long shot. Lots of artillery going in around. At least the Allies are still trying though, all things considered. But the AI is just not doing much, it's just sitting around. They're not doing much. And yeah, at this point they surrender, makes sense. One player short and everything happens. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this little match. I will see you all in the next one, everyone. Bye bye.